Hey everybody, and welcome back to Jaraci Cup 6. Continuing our coverage of the upper bracket, we move now to quarterfinals D. This is going to be myself playing as the Galzine versus Moose as the Coalition. Played some time ago, so I gotta say I really have no recollection of how this goes, so that'll be kind of fun to watch. First map looks like going to be Tight End Passage. Let me just open up our info.txt here, see what the picks and bans were. Looks like he picked Coalition first, I picked Galzine second. I'm fine with playing the mirror matchups, that probably wouldn't have changed. I banned the Shallows, he banned Boneyard, so he picks Tight End Passage. I pick Kalash and Torin, he picks Kartoba, and I pick Galzine Territories for the last match. Not really too much to say, I don't think, about pick ban, but should be noted these are all maps that favor, I think, early aggression. Actually, all 5 of them, right? Because Tight End, Kalash, Torin, Kartoba, GT. So, I think we have an idea of what this series is going to be like. It's going to be attack, 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 and probably I'll do a rail rush every now and then. Because I'm such an inventive player, and indeed that seems to be my build for this game. Taking a look at Moose here, looks like he has gone for LAV Fab first. Not sure what his plan is after this. Also, wow. Yeah, A-game wall of text for sure, man. He's talking about audio interfaces, which is... I just got this new microphone. Maybe you can hear. I sound beautiful. And so... I was mentioning, though, it doesn't seem to have a volume setting. I can't make it any louder or quieter. So he's going into, like, audio interfaces and stuff and how I should get one. That sounds like more money, though. So I'm just going to stick with this. It's a Blue Yeti. It's quite nice. Real Fab on the way for me now after 4 skims. This is kind of how I like to do it. I've got this whole, like, system laid out in mind. I'm kind of depending on how strong my eco turns out to be from the start. I'm either going to get 4 or 3 skims, and a 4 is usually stronger. Oh. Well, I could just bring it right here, Maybe we do this, huh? I can bring it as close as I want. Let's bring it to here. That sounds pretty good to me. Rail Fab nearly completed now. I probably want to be switching these guys to RUs, yeah. Usually if I forget one, though, I'll just leave them on CUs instead. And Fleet Cap 45 is done as well, so we are ready to start building assault rails just as soon as we like. We've got the money for it for sure, and there's one on the queue. Turret gets set down from Moose in a kind of decent position, but I would have liked it up here, I think. Yeah, it's like right on my left arm now when it sits on the keyboard, whereas like back here, it's a little bit further away. It's like out of my way. Oh, I mean, everyone knows that, right? They should, anyway. You gotta have the mic close. Looks like it's AAV tech, by the way, for Moose. This is a difficult thing to play, I think, for Coalition. Generally, when I've seen AAVs into this rail rush, it has lost, but it kind of depends, I suppose. There was actually a time, curiously, in the meta where, heavy rails just did so little damage and AAVs had so much health that, like, actually you could just, like, run at your opponent with AAVs and, like, win. It was ridiculous. And also, at that time, assault rails didn't have any range, so, like, the AAVs would kill them, too. It was pretty funny. That got nerfed almost immediately. Ref mode? Ref mode? Oh, Bozo, you're weak. Well, I'm gonna give him the easy way out, it looks like. I guess I'm just really afraid of this turret. But I mean, if you ask me, since I have assault rails, I could probably siege this turret down, no problem. But I'm going to play for the long game, apparently, so we're going to back up to ref mode. Now, it is important to know this is something that Galzine can do. They don't have to, like, commit to the rush. If it starts, like, stalling out, they can always back out. So, the Coalition player really has to be on their toes. Watch for this. But as it stands, taking some pretty good trades here, but Moose is going for a support cruiser, so... He's a stone cold Steve Austin, man. Like, he believes. And that's actually going to be really good for him. That's exactly what he needs. Because obviously, if refinery mode comes out here, I'm going to be on 2 base. He wants to be on 2 base as well. Skibber going to get chunked out by this turret. Like I said, I backed away because of this turret. I didn't feel comfortable sieging it down. Thing is, curiously, the turret kind of fills the role that the assault rails do in this composition right now, which is that it can trade for free infinitely until I get up next to it, and then the AV and the LAVs want to pop over the hill and shoot me. And so, which is what the assault rails want to do. It's just the difference is these can move and this can't, but it's in such a good position. So it kind of doesn't matter that it's immobile. However, this is what Moose doesn't want to do. He can't push out past that turret because obviously he doesn't... I mean, what's he got to fight if that turret is not, you know, in range? It's not really going to go down there. It's a bit of sloppy micro for me. Probably could have saved that one, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Heavy rail coming out for me. No, this is an assault rail. Oh yeah, this is a heavy rail though. Look at that. I knew it. My spidey senses were tingling. I knew there was a heavy rail on the field somewhere. It's my favorite unit. But that's going to allow me to kind of siege him off of his second base. And if I'm not going to push this turret, I'm not going to get onto his main. But like if I'm on 2 base and he's on 1, that sounds pretty good for me. So that's pretty much what this heavy rail wants to do. He's going to start on this hill, but he probably wants to move to here eventually. And range calibration coming out for me really, really early too. That's kind of fun to see. You know, I was trying in my joke patch to make range calibration give the heavy rail like 5,000 meters of extra range, but I was not able to make it work for some reason. Calibration's turned on, by the way, so I definitely have range on this carrier right now. You didn't see it. No, yeah, okay, I didn't have that much range. I tend to overestimate how much range calibration's actually going to do. But as you can see, like I said, we're going to be able to siege down this carrier now. And some kind of tech just finished. Was that Power 1 that I saw? It might have been Heavy Vehicles 1. But it is maybe going to turn into a bit of a rail fight. When there's calibration on the field, Coalition needs to be careful because obviously if you can outrange railguns, you can pretty much always beat them in a fight. So the question is, can he take an engage where he has, like where we don't have a range disparity? That's kind of going to be what it comes down to here. You'll notice I'm on 3 base though, and that's only, well, I'm not really on 3 base, I only have 1 salvager here, but I'm filling it out now with the carrier. So if this goes on and I can keep him on 2 base, I just slowly get ahead and ahead and ahead because I'm just going to have way more money than him. And it's important to note, Coalition can't double produce off of 2 base, so even with only 2 PCs, I'm able to outproduce him here. As you can see, 4 heavy rails on the field now. And he's gone AVs and rails himself, which means he doesn't really counter this composition terribly nicely. LAV rail is probably better, but it's hard to say. This is a difficult match to play here for him at this position. Oh, this heavy rail here wants to die. He's getting way too far forward. Probably wants to back away. Dude, I'll just have like a move order onto this hill. What am I doing? Sometimes you watch your own play and you just think, but why? Did you see that? I gave it like a move order, like brrr, like a whole bunch of waypoints. You can tell I knew it was dead. I just went ahead and told it to run a marathon right before it died. That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. Skims, however, so the AAVs died, right? And now the Skims can just kind of jump on top of these heavy rails and just do their thing. They only get 1 though. Maybe I stick around for the base runner? Looks like I don't. And yeah, if we can get control of this hill right here, then we can start moving along the ridge of it up toward the enemy carrier. And that's going to be where things get really sticky for Moose. So sticky indeed, I don't think it really can be won from that position. And you can see here, Heavy Rail is taking a very good trade. They do actually have high ground from this position, which confuses me somewhat. Oh, it's because he wasn't on the brow of the hill. He was actually down on the side here. That AV lived for a very long time. That's fine though. I'm gonna give him actually a lot of respect here. This is kind of weird of me. I want to just stay on the brow of this hill, because I can push like forever from that position. Although perhaps I'm looking at like an attack on his main, but this is quite a passive game for me though. And missile ship fab coming out for me, I believe, because I saw fighter and gunship tech on his carrier. Are you sure? I think it's because he was, I think it's because he was down here instead of on the brow. Because I'm pretty sure that's even ground all across the dune. I will admit it's a little hard to tell, though. Thing is, I've got range calibration right now, So, like, I should just find a place that I can siege from, just turn that on, and just kind of fight him forever, you know what I mean? For sure we can clear out this turret, though. We'll see that does happen now. We're going to prioritize attacking the enemy rails. That usually makes sense to do. This guy just kites over the hill. Gaussian rails, I think, in a sense, have a bit of an advantage that way because they never turn around when they're trying to kite, so they can get behind the hill a little bit faster, but it's not a huge advantage. Really, the problem there was that he was on high ground, so... In the replay, no, I can't. I'm hitting V right now, but it doesn't do anything. You can do that, I believe, in, ooh, a gunship. Ooh, this is quite nice. Yeah, really good against everything I have on the field right now. Unfortunately, I've already got missile ship tech, and there is a couple on the field. But, yeah, you can see how much damage that does here. But we have rail armor 2 already, which is actually pretty rare. I don't usually go for rail armor. So, oh, that LAV managed to kill a heavy rail. That's pretty bad micro for me. I could have helped that guy out a little bit faster with these skims here, but yeah. So I'm just gonna run back to the anti-air. Don't want to lose units unnecessarily. But for sure this is going well because I'd say of this carrier health. I mean, he's not gonna be able to stand here during siege much longer. So if we just get like another window to attack, we basically win the game. But you can see I've been really, really passive. I'm not trying to deny any bases. Because I think the normal thing to do would be to start with the rails on this hill, just siege down the third, and then move up to here and then siege down the second. But I'm not interested. I'm not even trying to stop him from mining. I just kind of am going for the carrier kill. It's interesting to see. Anyway, rail armor 3 is done now. Missile ships are in the area, so that gunship won't do too much damage. It is going to launch now, though. It can find the skims. They're kind of out of position. Sunder comes down in this AV. No, it doesn't. I'm really inting now. Oh, and the bunching is quite bad. You can see me frantically trying to split these rails up, but I'm doing kind of a bad job of it. That's not my best split ever. But none of them die. You can see the value of rail armor 3 there against that gunship. It's true. It's true. Yes. Exactly. Another rail goes down there, but the second one gets saved. That's kind of nice. Extraction comes out for me too. And yeah, I've been thinking about how to fix this map. I think it'd be so cool if the crater was like in play. That's what like excites me about this map. Is like, what if we had a base here, and then like the crater was in, and like you had to go down here to get the artifacts or something. But because then that would make the map really unique, and if we could make it balanced, it would be, you know, it wouldn't be imbalanced. So, but I don't know. It would take a lot of work. Because I'm also not sure if there is a collision down here for like units to move into. Ow! Down goes the assault rail. Again, like I said, very, very passive, but we have killed off this support cruiser so far. Extractions are coming out. And you kind of ask, like, do I need to attack? I don't need to, right? And it's not like I'm going to lose anything for sitting here, so... And so here I sit. And I have, it seems, no interest in pushing. Power 2 coming out for me as well. I feel like he's floating. Not that much. But for sure he wants to make some kind of tech choice. Maybe tac bombers would be decent, but I do have quite a bit of anti-air, and I can get more if I need it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I take it all back. He has tech. So he's gotten to assault cruiser tech here, actually. Procaster right here. But as you can see, assault cruiser is really not too good when they run into 6 rails like that, so... Yes, I agree. Because not only are you constantly fighting railguns, but if your opponent is good, you're constantly fighting high ground railguns. So... That's not exactly where assault cruisers do their best, eh? Skims seem to kind of want to die here, but they can actually just focus fire the carrier and kill it. That's fine though, and this coalition carrier is gonna go down. But yeah, what A-Game is saying is that, like, if you look at the distance from one dune to the next, like, this is, like, the shortest distance you'll find on this map from one dune to the next. It's tiny, right? Or, it's huge, right? Exact opposite right there. It's like an AC comes over the hill here and rails are parked here, they're not going to die to it, right? Whereas on a lot of maps, the dunes are, like, really close together, and so if ACs come over the hill, you know, they're going to kill rails because they get on top of them, but it's not going to happen in this map, so... Definitely a bit of a questionable choice there. Let's move into game 2, though. As I just realized, I have to be renaming stream title, so let's get on that. Okay. And game 2, like I said, gonna be on Kalash Teeth. Once again, all 5 of the games in the series, Titan, Kalash, Torin, Kartoba, Galzing Territories, these are all pretty good maps for rushing, so I feel like we have somewhat of a obvious game plan here. This time though, it's going to be assault ships, as you can see. Sandskimmer tech coming out immediately, base runners retiring. And this PC will move out in sort of like a sideways direction. Looks like Boruto noticed that Orb left the Discord. It's a sad tale. LAV Feb first once again for Moose. Shouldn't even call it first though, right? Because he did build a salvager before that. Assault chip tech on the way for me. And this is a pretty tight timing. This will be finished at about 28. Actually a little bit before that, I suppose. And then obviously, if you've never seen a build like this, it's unlikely that the assault ships are going to actually kill the main. If they do, you pretty much win, but it's not really what you're going for. This is what you would do in vanilla, because assault ships are like mega tanky. But in patch, you basically just want the assault ships to, you basically just want them to like get pressure such your opponent can't go up to 2 base. And then while he is stalled out on 1 base trying to get rid of the assault ships, then you take up to 2 base yourself, or move up to 2 base yourself. You know, you bring this guy back and you get ref mode. And then all of a sudden, you have a really nice economical standing for the game to continue. So that's kind of what I'm going for. You can see first assault ship on the way, this PC unscouted, which is good for me, although he does see a sand skimmer here, so I should be expecting something like this. Because if I go ref mode first, I'm not going to have a skim ready. Armored Unit Defenses 1 coming out, but I'm going to cancel it, looks like. I tend to have some eco problems here because you can see I'm being kind of greedy. I filled out the salvager line. And if you do this, you kind of have some problems with economy. So, or not with economy, with getting, what do you say, like the assault ships out at the same time as techs, like the armor. Here you can see I'm driving up to my opponent's base. Now it looks like he's gone for pretty hard commit into LAV spam here. And I'm going to see it with his LAV, but if you ask me, this is very, very good. Because maybe he can do some damage to my main, but I'm going to do huge damage to him, because the only thing he's got to defend against these assault ships is LAVs, which is not exactly what you want, eh? So I'm going to look to tech up to power 1 as fast as I can, just to make sure I don't die to these LAVs. But there's nothing here to defend, you see this? So this is a moment where I can actually kill the salvager line. And it looks like he's going to pull back, actually. So I'm actually just going to tech straight to ref mode, it looks like. And 4 salvagers die. Like I say, this build usually is not looking to kill the main, but like if it does, well, that's not something you want to avoid. You know, you take it if it's given to you. A couple of LAVs going to get killed here too. This is kind of a bad trade because I'm going to lose an assault ship for this. Of course, I don't want to rebuild at all, so like, actually losing assault ships is kind of relevant for me. But now ref mode is on the way. And I'm actually going to take my opponent's third base, which is kind of an alpha move, but my thinking here is like, you know, if I can get away with it, I might as well, right? So, we'll see how that goes. I want to stop this base runner though, it looks like, and I gotta say, this is probably the wrong move, because really I should be careful plugging this gap up. Oh boy. It'd be quite lucky for Moose if he found this, but if he does, he might actually kill. Well, this isn't a soul chip. That's not gonna be enough though. Oh my gosh, he's just driving straight here. Does this guy have like mad packs on? What's going on? Look at this. This is why, by the way, you don't do this, but as you can see, LAVs do actual damage to assault chips. And all of a sudden I might lose a PC. That's pretty funny. That is like so lucky that he found this. It's hilarious. Am I building a assault chip? I should cancel this. There's no way this guy gets out, right? I'm also using death packs. Yeah, I'm kind of in denial about this guy dying. There's no way he lives here. So I really want to cancel that assault chip. I'm gonna build it instead. And he narrowly escapes the production bay anyway. If you didn't know this, if a unit dies while it's coming out of the bay, it'll get killed as well. Or sorry, if the PC dies while the unit is coming out of the bay. Oh, got a little attack on the main again, but this is why we don't usually get damage done on the main. You can see like he just runs off, and I'm not really gonna kill anything, and I'm gonna lose both the assault chips there. So yeah, if this was chess.com, it'd be like blunder from winning to losing, right? Minus 15. But never fear. I can clutch sometimes. You look at the status on the board though, I mean there's... Oh, there is rail tech. Oh boy. What's he producing? He's making an SE. That's the right choice here for sure. Actually, what he ought to do is go for fighter and gunship as well though. He doesn't nearly have the resources though, so for sure that'll take some time. But if you're ahead in a game, I'm always saying this, fighter and gunship, really good choice because it's untargetable by most of the opponent's army. The army that they've got to build to deal with your army. So then all of a sudden you can come in and just like wreck people, right? That sure makes this interesting though, you know? Adds a bit of spice to this series. I'm not mad about this. Although that is so lucky, he just drove straight over here. That's crazy. Let's see what happens next. We do have Rift mode, mind you. I rebuilt that PC, as you can see. We're going to be on 2 base immediately. And we're going to go for interceptors. And I think this is because I know that he could have air coming. I guess, you know, it's quite convenient for me, isn't it, that he doesn't really have a ground army left. I suppose he gets another artifact, which is good. I wonder if maybe he could have done something funny with this base runner, like putting down turrets on my second, but I'm not gonna opt for any of that kind of nonsense. I'm not gonna rebuild my PC though, as you can see. Or rebuild a second, that is what I mean. But he does have railguns, no mag excel, but this is still a pretty nice counter unit to assault chips, obviously. Most importantly, it has that Sunder ability, right? So, I mean, his rails actually can act as like a support unit in a lot of senses to these LAVs. If they get one shot on the assault chip, then all of a sudden it has no armor and the LAVs can chunk it. It's gonna like double the DPS of the LAVs, if you want to think of it that way. That's not quite true, but it does a lot, so... Let's see, 16 minus 7 versus 16 minus 4, or 3. That's actually pretty close to doubling. It's like plus 60% damage or something, probably, because of that Sunder ability. If you didn't know about this, Sunder, it's the passive ability of railguns, and it makes it so that every target that they hit has 4 less armor for 10 seconds. So it actually makes your other units damage the target more. So that's a important ability to know about. See these rails? I should really just back away here. Looks like that's what I'm gonna do. You can see I still have a base runner. No, I retired that, so I must have rebuilt this. Here come the interceptors, though. And this will hit pretty hard. Unfortunately, I'm wasting missiles on this base runner. It's difficult to get it. Oh no. Oh, look at the micro. Congratulations. You played yourself. That's okay though, we did manage to get one railgun at least. That's pretty meh though. Obviously we wasted missiles on the base runner, but then I hit the LAV also, which is pretty bad. So I ended up doing like almost no damage with these interceptors. Oh my gosh, this guy just like narrowly escaped death. He should not go back in, he should just back away. Looks like that is what I'm gonna do. And then these assault ships here, see how they're parked on this hill? This is what they do, they just like, they know they can't be killed easily, you just play for damage by not attacking, right? Like, the fact that I'm here makes him commit army to this. It's just very, very annoying to deal with. And, you know, too many times I see assault ships go in as if they're like Rambo, like trying to fight things that they definitely can't fight. Kind of like this, for example. This is kind of one of these, like, assault ship thinks he's Rambo moments, right? Doesn't even get the kill. This is so much stronger for assault ships to do. Interceptors clear out another, they cleared another railgun, and Moose only just now teching into missile battery fabs. This is quite late for him. That means I might be able to just come in here and kill more rails. And then he just has to keep rebuilding them, because if he doesn't, I come in with assault ships and kill him. But it looks like I'm not going to. Of course, it is worth noting there's quite a lot of light anti-air here. The Sport Cruiser has anti-air, and all of these LAVs, and the Space Runner. So it's definitely possible I could die if I'm a little bit sloppy here. And it looks like TAC Bomber research, or their precision bombers actually, done for me now. But the interceptors are going to come in, try and hit for value. They don't actually manage to kill that base railgun, but looks like the assault ships have got my back. And an anti-air turret post getting set down for Moose, so he really does not want to die anymore to these interceptors. Notice, by the way, this assault ship here. He's just kind of chilling, he's looking to see what happens. Does my opponent go up onto 3 base or not? And if he doesn't, well, that's great. I don't have to worry about, you know, falling behind ever. Which allows me to tech into precision bombers perhaps a little bit easier. I actually left that anti-air turret post alive, which is a little bit unfortunate for me. That is going to mean a couple of interceptors dying. And I revealed the bombers too. Maybe could have held off on that for a bit. But you can see I do so much damage to the ground army that I'm able to come in here with the assault ships. And this is where they really can be Rambo. And as you can see, they managed to clear out 3 salvagers off this base. Could have been better, but it could definitely have been worse. That was pretty good damage done by me. And finally, this assault ship gonna get cleaned out. So now I don't have info on whether or not my opponent is on 3 base, but I already am, so I'm feeling quite good about this. Recharge upgrade coming out on these guys, and then maybe I tech to rails from here. We'll have to see. Bomber, as you can see, not very effective against LAVs. This guy would be better used attacking like salvagers and stuff. Yeah, just like that. But he's already used one of his bombs, so he's not going to get anything else done here, unfortunately. He won't die either, though. Bombers have quite a bit of health, so we're feeling fairly comfortable. Just kind of flying in, seeing if we can do some damage. Here's a bomber that's actually going to get some value, so you can see he hits that railgun. Doesn't die either. Like I said, bombers have quite a bit of health. And Moose, it looks like, really going to commit to this LAV style as he starts getting some vehicle damage upgrades. I'm going to try to stop him from extracting, but I think he might have it. Oh, it's close. Calculated. Calculated. He would never extract on my watch. Ignoring the fact that he's already extracted too. Siege Cruiser Fab actually going to be the choice here, and Bomber ammo capacity teching as well, so I really don't want to get rails apparently. I'm looking to play it a little bit different this time. And probably a worthy target would be this Sport Cruiser over here. We still don't have Sport Cruiser anti-air. It's quite an expensive tech these days. Doesn't really do all that much value either. So Moose gonna opt to not go for that. And triple bomber is launching here. Here's that last one. Pretty freaking sick looking unit, right? I have questions as to the aerodynamics of that thing, but oh my gosh. Looks even better when it's dying. Ow. Well, that could have gone better. There's a lot of anti-air here. There's 4 missile batteries and a anti-air turret post. That's crazy. The thing that a good air player would do, which I readily admit that I'm not, is stop looking to see if you can get damage done here, but instead look to see in other bases if there's not anti-air. And if I did, I would see, oh, look at that. And I would just kill that sport cruiser immediately. But, you know, I never said I was good with bombers. Ah, that's a good point. That's a good point. In case you didn't know, gravity on Karak is much lower than on Earth. I think about half, if I'm not mistaken. Which is probably a big reason why, like, hover units work, and, like, giant cruisers in the sand, you know? Two times mass squared. Ooh. Jeez. That's pretty crazy. These guys just kind of eating some abuse. But here comes the first barrage from the siege cruiser. It's actually kind of going to miss, I guess, because, yeah, it's landing on units all around here, but these are pretty tanky units that aren't going to die to it. I really want to be looking for... Oh, wow, this is pretty good. I really want to be looking for where the railguns are when I do the barrage. I'm not gonna lie, siege cruisers are great and all, but I'd kind of like to see myself get to like 5 bombers and see what I can do with it. 5 bombers is pretty good, I'd say, in any case that you're able to get that out. These bombers here, meanwhile, kind of have a death wish. They're flying over the anti-air base of my opponent, and one of them is gonna go down for that. There we go, that's what we want to see. These are the pro plays. But obviously we aren't planning on ending this anytime soon, it would seem. Just kind of trying to strangle him out. I mean, again, this is what we were doing last game. Very, very passive, right? We'll take what's given to us, but I don't seem to want to force the end of the game. It's actually kind of surprising myself, the way that I'm playing this. I'm giving a lot of respect to him. Oh, I failed to kill that sport cruiser. That's quite unfortunate. LAV's gonna boost in here. They seem to think they have a window on this siege cruiser, but unfortunately that's not really gonna work. These assault ships here, like I said, they can take a lot of abuse, but they will die eventually to these mortars. As you can see, one of them goes down. Assault ship self-healing, by the way, if you didn't know, is extremely low. Oh, they actually got the siege cruiser. Wow. Well, that didn't have to happen. I could have powered this down and put one into weapons there, but... That's a yikes, you know what I'm saying? Ow, that is too. I just managed to like eat a mortar directly on these sand skimmers. Sorry I didn't catch that in camera. Like right as I was backing out of the, like backing into sensors, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm missing this. Oh, looks like Moose is gonna GG before the Penta bomber is able to show its face. It's unfortunate, but that is how it's gonna be. So 2-0 in the series so far. As Moose struggling to find a footing here. But he did have a nice catch on that PC, I would say. Let's see what he can do in Torrent Crater. This one, of course, kind of a well-known map for early aggro. For sure, this is a map that I want to be doing my best to kill my opponent here. Question is, what do I go with? Or do I flip it on its head and go for ref mode? That'd be quite a subversion, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Because obviously if this base runner moves out, we're going for ref mode instead. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Because that's the thing, like Torrent Crater, you know, this is like the map where you do like really, really good damage with assault chips, and you have like a nice rail rush angle because of how flat this all is, and etc, etc, you know what I mean? Like, this is a great map for early aggro, but kind of gonna flip it on its head then and say, okay, well in that case, I'm gonna be the defensive player this time. We'll see what Moose does. He is actually changing his strategy, so this time no LAV fab coming up from him. He does end up teching it though. So riff mode at 29, that's pretty good timing. It can be faster if you retire the base burner, but that scanner is going to give you so much value. This one I'm actually not sure about unless it sees the carrier. It does, okay, that's great. That is excellent then. Because this obviously gives me info. Okay, so is my opponent going for any kind of tech here? And I can see, well, he's not yet, that's for sure. Of course, if it's going to be an AV rush, it'll actually finish around now. So this is actually when I want to be looking for that tech. Probe I can hear as well got sniped on this side. So that's quite nice for me. Always hurts to lose a probe like that. You can send out another one, but it's so much money. I mean, yeah, it's only 100 CUs, right? But in the early game, that's a lot, because that means it's not money going into your economy. Or if you're rushing, it's not money going into the rush. You know, though, he is actually going to tech straight to AAV fab here, but he's quite late if he wants to rush with this, which means that for me, that's a lot of safety. And I'm going to be able to go ref mode here pretty free. I don't think he has a punish ready. You can see, though, I didn't get greedy. I didn't get Sand Skimmer tech here. And I still don't see tech, but that vision is finally going to get denied. This LAV kills him. So 27:45, I see no tech, I see no support cruiser. I'm kind of scratching my head here. This is a bit of an odd one for me. I don't know what he's doing. So probably I'll tech. And if I had to guess, I'd say I'll probably tech into rails here. It's kind of my MO. I don't like to not know what my opponent is doing here. The thing is, I had a stage where I was like testing the limits of like insane greed. I mean like crazy greed. And in them days, I might not even have skimmer tech yet, but I'm not gonna play with that kind of fire this time. And Moose gonna instantly tech the missile batteries. Oh dear. So he's quite afraid of air. But I don't know, that seems a little weird to me. I guess to be fair, he hasn't seen anything from me, so it could be anything indeed. As I try to stop this extract, that's not really gonna work. He's gonna see the carrier now, though. He's gonna see no tech, and I think that's actually kind of the worst thing he could see. Oh, we're gonna get a little greedy here, actually. It's gonna be second PC before tech, but I should click on rail fab about now because I've got the money for it. This is a mite annoying, isn't it? Difficult to deal. Oh, I was actually close on the stop there, but I wasn't gonna get it. Difficult to deal with though, because obviously the skims are out there trying to stop the extraction. Thing is, with base runner heal, I can basically win this fight any day unless he backs away, and kind of plays with the cooldown on this ability. There's the heal. And as you can see, it pretty much lets me 2v1 for like a brief moment, but I'm not actually gonna be able to finish it, so I back away. Just gonna get that dune for the line of sight block, and then a second LAV Sand Skimmer comes out here, and you can see I should be able to stop him from killing me at all, and maybe I can even hide my tech from him too. Yeah, he's not gonna see the tech. That's potentially big. I just want to point out though, like the way that I'm playing this is like super presumptive of like what he's building. If he had gone for fighter and gunship here, he would actually like right now be launching and just like kill everything. So this is pretty risky actually, but I was just talking about how I used to do this like unreal greed, and now here I am getting a third PC and teching straight to honor guards. Oh man, maybe I was going for like a bit of a challenge game or something with stream. I'm not sure. As power is getting checked as well. Oh no. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna try to like raffle stomp now. This is so bad. I mean, maybe it works though, because my opponent doesn't really have anything. The way he like blind teched an anti-air in the very beginning, it's really slowed him down, as you can see. He's just now getting up onto 3 base, and so am I. So our eco is like somewhat even. Actually, no, it's quite even. But the fact that I haven't had to build any army at all means I'm going straight to honor guards, which is ridiculous. And I'm even floating a little bit too. The question is, are there a million AAVs marching across the map? But not really. There's like one. And then, are there a million strike fighters about to launch and kill me? But no, in fact, he's building anti-air. So like, the things that could punish this are not being built. So, curiously, this dumb strat of mine that you should never do is actually going to work, I think. And then, you know I'm going to tech into HGC anti-air. How could I not? How could I not? We are starting to see the AVs, though, and I like this move out. Just going to go and pressure the third here, and there is nothing to stop it. AV here gets scouted on a scanner, but he is going to get stopped. And there we go. It is going to be honor guard anti-air, as we would all expect. What else would I build? Am I building anything from this PC? No. Bozo BM is ever in his play. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, Bozo. So toxic. He doesn't have any armor on these AVs, so I can actually kill it with these skims if I want to. But it looks like I am going to build a heavy rail over here and then an assault rail somewhere as well. Just to try and sort of keep my bases alive here. I have base runner heals, so like these guys are never going to die. In fact, I triggered on all 3 of them. Yeah, you can do like 0 DPS to this. Sunder pretty good, like I've talked about in the last game. Allows the skims to just kind of shred through that AV, especially when there's no armor tech done. And we're kind of hitting our power spike. This is what we want to do. The carrier is getting powered. Obviously, not only by techs, but also by extractions. And we have some honor guards out on the field, so this is when we want to start pushing now. You can see honor guards actually have less DPS against single targets than rails, but that doesn't mean it's low, eh? It still is pretty big. Ouch. This is so freaking cool. I mean, look at that. It's like a giant AoE railgun. It's like, I have a feeling this unit was conceived of before they thought about how it worked with the balance. Only it turns out to be quite a nice unit in the Galzian roster as well. If there was one unit in the game that I think can like kind of hyper carry other than like the carrier, it'd be, and by that I mean like you just spam like 5 or 10 of these things, like that's all you need that like makes your army. It's got to be honor guards, either that or Con of Siege, but they don't have anti-air. Assault cruisers want a piece of me now. We have quite a bit of power in this carrier actually. You notice I rotate away so that the honor guard cruiser won't spawn into danger, but he needs to be running right now because he's really in kind of an awkward spot. Ugh. Yeah, this is gonna die anyway, so this was kind of, that was kind of messy. It had anti-ground point, oh my gosh. So, honor guards are obviously good against LEVs. They're kind of they're a nice counter that Galzian has got to LEV spam. Because like assault chips are gonna do that job too, right? But, honor guards, do it just a lot better because they're very punishing if you catch your opponent out. It's not like, oh, well, I can't attack here. It's like, oh, half my LAVs died. But the thing is, if the LAVs can get on top of the honor guard, kind of like assault rails, it can't shoot anymore, right? It has to, like, spin around and try and catch him. So if it has, like, anti-ground point defense, that's actually crazy. Because then it, like, you just take away, like, the one weakness that it's got left. Which, by the way, like, that makes perfect sense, speaking from, like, a realism standpoint. Yeah, there they are. But like, you know, that sometimes realism has to just take the back foot to game design, like to, you know, balance and whatever. Oh, I think I remember this now. I think I remember this. I'm so committed to this push here, alright? And most players are going to try to stop me, but Moose is just like, nah, dude, I'm just going to run by you here. Actually, looks like he's kind of backing up here. Oh, please no. The criticism will never stop if you do that from like the SCOP crew. Yeah, these assault cruisers are just gonna choose to base trade with me now. But it's important to note that like Galzian generally has a much stronger base trade because well, not only are they faster, but they don't have logistics modules, and in this case, I'm getting to the base first. The important thing to note about base trade, right, is that when we're base trading, whoever gets there first is winning, because that's the guy who can rebuild faster. And I'm definitely getting here first, right? And so, this is a base trade that Moose can't really win, but for sure he needs to be pulling off the line if he's going to do this. Silver lining though, these honor guards are fairly slow, so I mean he does get away with these salvagers, I think, but I think the sport cruiser is forfeit because he was a little slow to pull it off. Obviously at this power level, it's got the same speed as his carrier. I mean, you see, that's what I'm doing. Everything pulls off the line when you get our base trading. And you can see with overcharge, these guys are faster. Once it wears off, they're going to be slower. 65 speed compared to 70, 75. However, this is actually quite a nice split here, or not split, like surround here that Moose has got on me. And he's going to deny this artifact as well. So, I mean, what can we do but just kind of drive through him? That's really all we can get done here. So this is kind of humorous. But what we probably want to do is just, like, start building salvagers. Look at this production queue. Oh my gosh. This is me, alright. That's how I play. BCs, by the way, have been teched by Moose, and he's built 2 of them. So, BC is obviously kind of a terrifying unit in this type of scenario, because now if they catch my carrier, he can actually just kill me. However, honor guards are going to kill BCs pretty hard if I can keep my distance. So we're kind of framing a fight now where Moose is going to dominate in close range, but if we ever take a long range fight, he's going to be just kind of whittled away by attrition. And it's going to be pretty powerful attrition too, because this is 5 honor guards, which is no joke. I hope I'm aware that there's a hill there, because otherwise we could really be framing for like a close range fight, like I said. Important to note too, honor guards quite a lot slower than BCs. But we're almost in range. And those BCs will probably like 2-shot an honor guard, so... Oh my gosh, where are you going, Bozo? Back away, back away. Well, you know what, actually I found a little bit of an angle here, so maybe this is not so bad. Uh-oh, this is pretty bad though. These Soul Cruisers getting up on top of me here, this is exactly what they want to do. Maybe they don't use overcharge. I think Tac Missile Barrage is probably the best option here. You can see Skim's even going to be committed to attack them there. But actually, they seem to be losing now. Wow. That's actually kind of surprising. I would have thought that that was kind of like a perfect engage there, but they end up definitely taking the losing end of that trade. And then this is what I was saying about base trade, right? Actually, a PC survived, which is really good for me. But I'm on the bases faster than he is, so now he's got to like reset, and it's gonna take him a lot longer. You can see me just rebuilding production cruisers here. I am gonna get this 3rd artifact as well. Obviously, nothing that's gonna stop that. And these skims, I'm not really sure where they're going, because obviously they don't win against an assault. Well, maybe they could kill this one, but it's risky for sure, because kind of like, oh yeah, look at that, they're just spotting. But kind of like sand skimmers or like LAVs versus assault ships, right? You take so much damage and it's all AoE. That's really dangerous to stick around. You don't want to really be trying your luck with that, I don't think. Because like if you miscalculate the damage and it does a little bit more than you thought, it'll just like insta-jib you and kill like 6 of them, you know what I mean? So it's kind of rough. Anyway, the honor guards do be marching. Jib, yes. I shall never repent of that. There's that 3rd artifact. And 1 sand skimmer tasked to do the dirty work here, just clearing out these logistics modules. It'll take him some time, but he'll get it done eventually. Power 4 on the way for me now. Still no power for Moose, but I mean, he doesn't really have the money for it, right? So, oh. Well, he does have the money for power 2 if he wanted it. But it's gonna be fighter and gunship. Interesting. I wouldn't have pegged that as the tech for this point, but then again, I do know I've got Honor Guard anti-air, you know? So, we'll see how this goes. Oh, this is what I was talking about, though. You can see these skims just getting jibbed over here. Honor Guard gets some range, though, and you can definitely see the difference that that high ground made. If we don't get jumped on by these BCs, though, this is really an indomitable force, I would say. AC just gonna heal itself up here. Looks like a bit of a split actually coming out for me. Really don't want to get dunked on by these BCs, which is kind of exactly what we're doing here. So one Honor Guard just instantly gonna melt. Look at that damage. Oh yeah, you know I'm all about taking my opponent's bases. Again, would you say that that Honor Guard there got jibbed? Because I would. 1 BC for 2 Honor Guards? Probably not worth. But then again, my eco is stronger than his. By quite a margin, actually. So this SC just popped out here. So we're on 3 base against 2. And he just got this, this second filled out. And you know what I'm probably doing here is saving for power 5, because that's going to be a really big spike. But I can also look for this backstab here with these skims, that's never going to hurt. This AC just wants to be at full health, he's healing up again. And I'm just going to play a little bit more defensively here. Eye roll. I could send 1 Honor Guard to defend here, right? Like, that would be enough, but... No, we'll just move them all, like a pleb. F2, you know what I'm saying? Well, you see, that's the thing. I always thought it came from the word giblets, right? And you don't say giblets like this. There's no way. So you jib someone into giblets, you know? I feel like that's actually just got to be the right way to say it, right? I don't know. Power 5 finishing for me now. Now, obviously, the reason Power 5 is a big power spike is because it gives you the cruise missile, which in the Gaussian case is the missile barrage. Oh, I don't know. Probably another one of these meme words, but I'm an American, you know? That's just how we talk. That's just how it be. In the good old US of A. We've got money to build like a proper ground army, but you know what it's gonna be? More Honor Guards. I mean, why would I build anything else, really? This carrier looking pretty speedy. Could definitely power up the weapons a bit more. Yeah, there we go. LEVs. I gotta think that's probably not a terribly good choice here, though, because, like, obviously, they're just gonna get jibbed by these, like, Honor Guards. Okay, well, that's actually true, A-Game. That's true. You've got me there. Have I ranted about how much I hate English yet? Because it's a stupid language. It just shouldn't even be how it is. It's just like absolute nonsense, basically. Vase? What about that? Is this another example of like terrible English rules? Because I would believe it. Vase? No, it's vase, man. Okay, well, how do you say case? Like C-A-S-E. This barrage is gonna be a little bit of a whiff, by the way. I mean, here's the thing, though. I don't want to bore everyone, but I've probably talked about this before. But in linguistics, there's these two schools of thought about like language and like the nature of meaning, and one of them is called descriptivism, and one of them is prescriptivism. And a descriptivist, he would believe that the meaning of language is only really determined by the way it's used. And so there is a right and a wrong way to say things, but the right and wrong way to say things is how do other people say it, rather than, you know, what's like the rule, right? Because that mindset basically says rules are irrelevant. It really only matters, like, how people actually talk. Oh, honey child. You are not long for this world. That bomber. Can we say it one more time? Honor guard, anti-air. Although I queued it on like every single honor guard simultaneously, which means that now they don't have any anti-ground ability. So a couple of them are gonna die for that, but looks like it's off cooldown now though. Anyway, the other one is prescriptivism, which means that the right way to say things is actually the rule. And rules can get outdated by that logic for sure, but while it is still a rule, then you have to say it that way. But I just don't buy it, because like when you're on the street and you're talking to someone, he's never going to say vase or whatever the correct quote-unquote pronunciation is. He's going to say vase, you know what I mean? And so like if you're going to insist on saying it the wrong way, you just kind of come across like, who the heck are you, you know what I mean? So I've always been a descriptivist. I shouldn't say always. As a kid I was kind of a prescriptivist, I think, but back way before I knew what these terms even were. But yeah, it's face. Let's get over it. And this series is over as well, by the way. 3-0 for me. And that will be me advancing to the semi-finals. I'd like to cast the semis with Discara if we can. So I think that we'll hold off for now, which means maybe it's